HorrorDeconstruction.
Happy Halloween, suckers! It's the year of the HorrorDeconstruction, which means it's Classic Horror Movie Month, with your host, Komp, and...
Dr. Caligari.
We're celebrating classic horror films from the 30s and up, because we love it. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween, you stupid fucks. Hey, I like to watch women piss. Today's film is...
The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, 1920.
The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, 1920. Whoa, listen, I said the 30s and then this is the 20s, right?
God, you're wrong again.
I did it wrong. Anyway, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, 1920. Das Cabinet des Dr. Caligari. Hypnotist Dr. Caligari uses a somnambulist Caesar.
It kind of sounds like you're doing the Kalima when he rips the guy's heart out.
Murders. Directed by Robert Wein und writers Karl Mayer und Hans Janowitz, starring Werner Krauss, Konrad Veidt und Friedrich Ferrer, as well as Lili Dagova and Hans Heinrich von, whoa, look at his name, Twardowski. Yeah.
This is a very good credit. That should be the credits.
That should be it. Why did I pick The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari? Because I also had been watching TCM, Turner Classic Movies, a while ago, and I saw the film halfway, and I was really struck by the visuals of the movie, because it has visuals that pretty much anybody who's seen a Nine Inch Nails? Was it a Nine Inch Nails?
It's pretty fucking cool. Wait, speak up, I can't really hear you at the moment.
Was it Nine Inch Nails or Smashing Pumpkins? I think it was Smashing Pumpkins.
Pumpkins did the one that was with the moon and everything.
They also, some band, I can't fucking, it's driving me nuts. It's either, hey, look up, while I'm talking to you, Caligari, Smashing Pumpkins, or Caligari, Nine Inch Nails. But I'm stupid. It's Red Hot Chili Peppers, a band that's not even like them. Red Hot Chili Peppers did a video that is very similar to The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. In fact, they lifted visuals from it. It's Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Other Side.
That's the song?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so I had seen this movie, and I saw halfway through it, and I was gobstopped. I was shocked.
Gobstoppers.
I was gobsmacked, by
like
the sheer twist ending that I had not seen coming. I thought people were too stupid to have back then in the 1920s.
Yeah, but this is like the first fucking time.
I think so. I think it is the first. I can imagine people
This is like technically, I don't know if this is really true, but it seems to be the first horror movie, like official horror movie.
Wasn't Nosferatu is Nosferatu the first vampire movie, or is it the first horror movie?
Well, which came out first?
Look up Nosferatu. Nosferatu, 1922 is Nosferatu. So yeah, maybe this is the first sort of recorded.
This came out in 1920, so.
But I'm sure there was like non-talkies that were like short films, like 5 minutes long, and people
horror movie
in Germany. I'm sure. I wonder what scared them in Germany because.
Okay, the first horror film on record is Le Manoir du Diable.
Isn't manure mean shit? Does that mean like the
no? It's the manner of Satan.
At least Satan, manure. So anyway, this is a groundbreaking film from the 1920s. This is when people actually used very good art styles in horror film. I mean, looking at it now, it's sort of crude makeup and stuff to sort of.
It's so fucking cool though.
It's great looking. It's a great movie. Yeah.
Sick.
Because there's plenty. It's weird because there's like an hour and 12-minute, hour 14-minute, hour 15-minute version of the film. So I'm wondering what it is, and I assume it's maybe they changed the word cards. Could you imagine how much time they would have saved if they just put fucking subtitles like in the movies?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder why they could not think. Because there's a scene obviously where Dr. Caligari is going nuts and he's seeing words pop up on screen, and I was like, you couldn't just do that during the movie itself, like so we wouldn't have
the part where he's saying, you have to
you are Caligari,
yeah.
And I was thinking, they couldn't do that during the film itself, so you wouldn't have to like go away for like 5 to 6, 7 seconds.
I haven't
of
seen
film.
many silent films. Like it's like definitely I have a big weakness in like older films. Like I haven't seen a lot of them. But,
Same here.
Is this like pretty much the standard how they do it with the cue cards and everything?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I saw some like Chaplins and shit like as a kid, but that's
like that type of stuff drives me nuts. Like I hate like. Because I'm a fast reader, so it comes up and I'm like
they leave
done.
It on the screen for like way too long. I could read it like 4 times over in the time they keep it on.
And the thing I didn't say about like Freaks, one of the previous episodes, is that like the music here, obviously the music is whatever music is being recorded. I'm sure in live, this was played live. Like music was played live.
Yeah, this is like a full
then.
orchestration thing.
So the one that I saw, the music was made in 1777, and they just recorded it, I guess, in 1997 or something like that, and or 1996. So obviously it's different. Whoever's music went to this film, and it reminded me of when Freaks, for some reason, I think the music never stopped in Freaks, and it was that sort of weird.
Well, it was like ambient circus music the whole time.
Yeah, it was like fucking Three Stooges music, like honk honk, and this one is more like orchestral sounding, obviously.
So wait, the music was not. This is not the original music.
I'm sure. I don't know. Well, it was made in 1707. That's when it was written. So but I don't know if they were following them around and saying, "Hey, is this the real song from the film?" You know, I don't know what they used for the film itself, because there's obviously some musical cues that actually go with the scene, but they might have just done that for flair. Anyway, with this film, Caligari, why I picked it is because I had seen it a while ago, and I remember it's like pretty much a classic, and you wanted to do classic horror movie month, and just the visual style of the film is incredible because it has a slanted, very dark.
Everything looks like some weird, like, lithograph or something. It's so
and I could have sworn that there was talk about Tim Burton remaking this like many years ago, and I'm sure he would have fucked it up.
Well, not
if it was not him back then. If it was him now, he'd fuck it up. Because then he'd have fucking Johnny Depp dancing around and shit like that. What a horrible movie.
Remember like the Willy Wonka remake?
I didn't watch that just because I knew it was going to be terrible.
I didn't watch the Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, well, I saw that one, so we both saw terrible movies. Anyway, apparently it did remake this film. I actually just want to see how terrible it looks. But this film is basically about this one guy, him and his friend. Who is it? Is it Francis?
Alan.
Yeah, Alan's the guy that gets killed. So I guess it's Francis and Alan. Starts out with Francis telling this old guy, we don't see him where he is. He's inside this like little bench where there's topiary and grass around and stuff like that. And he's telling him the story about his girlfriend, or this girl that he likes called Jane. And he's like, she's never the same ever since such and such. And the movie warps back in time.
So that lady, by the way, was Hitler's favorite actress, and apparently went to dinner with him many times.
Oh, no.
Yeah, although she was apolitical after all that stuff started happening, but she did get an award for entertaining Nazis.
Oh, did she become like apolitical after the Nazis got killed, or?
Nah, she like tried to stay out of it like during the whole thing, but I mean, she was one of his like favorite actresses, and went to dinner with him. So,
hey sir, would you like this Wiener Schnitzel? And then she's like, no, nein, not really. I would not like to eat that.
No, she doesn't talk. She communicates in cue cards.
All right, he'd talk normally, and then she'd be in cue cards. He'd
with
be like
wide, crazed eyes.
He'd be sitting there, like he'd be the only, like his table would actually have a small podium on top of it, and he'd be like smashing his hand on it and go, and
then they do like the cinematic version of their dinner with Charlie Chaplin playing Hitler.
Hitler was a dickhead. And another thing I didn't realize is Caesar, the guy who plays the somnambulist, he was actually he's played by Conrad Veidt. And I was like, why do I know that name? He was in this movie called The Man Who Grins. Is that it? Which was the
Man Who Laughs.
The Man Who Laughs was the direct inspiration of the Joker for Bob Kane and
cool.
Bill Fingerman, I believe is his name. Bill Fingerman, the artist. Bill Fingerman got fucked in the ass by Bob Kane because he basically he was half the creator of Batman and whatever other villains he had, and then Bob Kane was like, yeah, I made it up. So after he died, he didn't get shit, basically.
Aww.
But I guess they reinstated that after, so now when you see Batman movies, it says Bill Finger. So anyway, this guy and his best friend, they both, I guess that's pretty adult of them, right? Because, what's his name? Francis and Alan. Francis, like, they both fall in love with Jane, who's like, hot chick for back then. She was so hot even Hitler was after her.
Yeah.
And she was like, although Hitler wanted to fuck his niece too, didn't he? I wasn't sure. I remember reading something about that or some.
I mean, he had all kinds of problems, I'm sure.
Yeah. And and anyway, so he was like, even if she falls in love with, if she falls in love with one of us, we'll be friends no matter what, and we'll deal with it.
That's what they say.
That was nice. That's what guys say, but men are full of shit because they're territorial. Because then we later find out Alan gets killed by a somnambulist. And that was the first time I've ever heard of the word in this movie, and that's the only time I've ever heard of this word.
And they use it so often.
And Francis was so upset too, because I think what he really wanted, I think he wanted to spit roast Jane with his buddy, and they could like give each other
they were gonna
high fives while they fucked.
Did they have DP action back in the 1920s?
Oh yes, dude. Listen, if they didn't have TV back then, what do you think they were doing? They were doing weird shit to each other. Of course they were doing. They're probably eating shit and like doing backflips into the toilet. Who knows what they did in the 1920s? Remember, it was Germany, right?
It was crazy.
Who knows?
No, it was the Weimar Republic.
Okay, so listen to me. I don't know what Prague and Germany is different. Or Russia. So come on, what the hell do I know?
Russia has nothing to do with either of those places. Prague
Anyway.
is near Germany.
So this film, it has these two guys. Well, anyway, we're jumping ahead of time. This guy named Dr. Caligari blows into town at the usual fair. It's a guy with a
He's a very obvious
little monkey.
villain. There's no way you could look at him and not know he's the bad guy.
There's some nice little red herrings in this film, like that guy who tries to kill the old lady. So it's supposed to throw off the audience thinking, oh, the somnambulist didn't do it. Because somnambulance, you wake them up. Like, people must have been really easily entertained. Because if you go into town and a guy says, hey, I can wake this guy up, you'd be like, oh, yeah, bullshit. The guy's just making believe he's sleeping.
He's been sleeping for 23 years. You'd be like, that's not true.
You're lying. Look how young he looks.
Liar,
you're full of shit.
You're scary looking and you're wearing a top hat. You are clearly a villain.
They'd have been like, hey, sir, I think you are lying. No, I'm not lying. Yes, bullshit. You're lying.
The guy asked him, when will I die? And then he tells him, and he's like in such over-the-top fear.
Well, that's what they had to do because, people like, in the audience were like getting scared watching this movie. They're like, Scheisse, I've got to get out of here. And they would just run out into the street scared.
Right.
He tells them you'll die before the morning or you'll die dawn tomorrow. And anyway, so Alan gets killed. You see, it was really cool. It's like a shadow with an ice pick just stabs him right in the fucking head or something. They don't show the dead bodies. The only dead body they show is the somnambulist. He gets tired, right? What a pussy. Yeah, that's what he dies. He dies of a heart attack because he was running around with the girl on him. And I guess he's not supposed to run around. It was a
little unclear to me how he died, actually. I didn't understand.
He died of fucking, exhaustion.
Just
because he's supposed to be
from
sleeping.
Kidnapping the girl?
Yeah, because I think he's not supposed to be...
He had such body fatigue from sleeping for 23 years. How could he have been developed enough to even walk?
So yeah, right. That's probably what it is. That's why he died. Because I don't know what Caligari's reasoning for this was. Like, why he's like, hey, maybe I'll have him grab her to sexually assault her. Because we find out that Caligari's whole idea is that he wants to make a man do something depraved to see how much power he has over him psychologically.
And he moves around from place to place, but then you find out, oh no, he's just a guy who's a director of a psychiatric ward who decided to take on the persona of this mystic.
Who was from the 1700s.
It's pretty cool. I like that idea.
It is. So then we find out it's all the raving rantings of a crazy person in the film.
Yeah, it's basically the first Wizard of Oz. I mean, that didn't come out until 1930-something.
What do you mean is the first Wizard of Oz?
Well, it was all a dream. Like, sort of same sort of idea a little bit. Like, it's all a crazy person's rant.
Oh yeah, you're right. You were there and you were there, kind of thing. You're right.
I like how Jane is actually just an insane person who believes she's a queen.
Yeah, she says we cannot make our own choices or something like that. I did like the twist. Nowadays,
awesome. Even after having seen it a million times, like this twist, it was still cool. So I imagine
because it's an older film, right? I'm sure the Germans were like, bullshit! Like, kind of ending is this? Where's Caligari? I don't get it! They're just running around, throwing wiener schnitzels at the screen and shit. I like the twist, even though I had the twist in Fight Club. When I saw that, I was like, this is bullshit.
Twist. Don't ruin the twist in case
I'm not. I remember seeing the twist in Fight Club. I was like, this is terrible. And then I learned to not learn, but I realized how much I love that movie. Yeah. I hated it at the time, and then I saw it again. I was like, "This is great." I also had problems with
one of my favorites.
I had the same problem with The Matrix 1 because I'm a stupid moron, and I learned to actually appreciate film later on.
What was the twist?
There was no twist. I'm just saying I didn't like the ending of The Matrix.
Oh, you're stupid.
That's what I mean. So I'll admit it. Now I enjoy films. I can see them and enjoy them and appreciate them.
But you know what? You should still feel bad about your past.
I do.
Good.
Yes, very good. And it's not like when you tell me I should feel bad about my skin color. Anyway, so I do like everybody's like over the top acting. They're everything's stylized really well.
Visually this movie is like, it just makes me want to make art.
Yes, they even had like I was saying before, they had the red herring with the guy trying to kill the lady, and then he's like, you think that he's the one that's actually killing people. Like, this is a pretty complex storyline.
Paints the fucking. I read the reason that they paint the sunlight and shit like that into the scene. Well, besides it looking cool, of course, is because there was like electrical. The government was really controlling how much electricity you could use, so they couldn't like light it properly. So they painted the light.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I really liked Cesar. They should have had him like talking to a dog, like Cesar the dog whisperer.
Yeah, right. The somnambulist whisperer.
That was a terrible joke. I liked it all. Like, it's actually like it's legit, like great.
The fact that it's like one of the first horror movies, like even if it's not the first, it's one of the first 10 maybe or something. Like
and it's just like it's super entertaining. It doesn't stop. Like, obviously, as a person nowadays, you get annoyed by the fucking subtitles, but you get used to it. That's what the film is. As long as
if they made the subtitles
music
half the length, it would have been better. Honestly,
there's like four versions on YouTube that you can see. I don't even bother wanting to see what the fucking remakes are. Apparently, there was a TV movie version in 1948. So I don't know. Yeah. I can't even imagine. They must have been like, "Hey there,
horrible.
This guy's asleep. He can't kill people." Stuff like that. So I'm sure that they did shit like that because they all talked like that in 1940. But I enjoyed this. I liked it a lot.
And then they would do swing dancing routines.
The Charleston, the fucking bunny hop, whatever crap they did back then.
Yeah.
Anyway, what rating would you give this film?
I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Having a love crush on a woman who stares off into space thinking she's a queen when she's not having dinner with Hitler.
Yes. I would imagine that Caligari was like a horny old man, and he probably had the somnambulist wake up just to jiggle his old nuts.
What's your...
I will give this a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Oh, Christ, did I just make the joke I was going to use? 9 out of 10. Being an old man that wakes up a somnambulist to look at a woman to possibly Bill Cosby her later because he's a fucking cretin.
Oh, wow.
So with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Somnambulist.
The Horror Deconstruction.